Namaskar. About 2 weeks ago, I came back from a very amazing motorcycle tour of the fjords of Norway. And while I was on that tour, the scenery was amazing, the riding was amazing, but there were often, almost on a daily basis, things which were scary. So it's a challenging road. I'm not the most experienced motorcycle rider. A lot of narrow roads, sharp winding turns with traffic, sometimes inside tunnels, sharp winding turns going steeply uphill or downhill inside a tunnel, a narrow tunnel with cars and trucks coming the other way. So every day I had to get on the bike, especially when I knew we were facing a challenging section in front of us. I had to deal with some degree of fear, sometimes quite a bit of fear. And I had a kind of breakthrough that helped me a lot with that. And I would call it one of the more important breakthroughs in my life. Sometime into the trip, Tarun, the brother who was going with me on the trip on his own bike, asked me if I had a name for the bike. And I had thought I should give the bike a name sometime, but I hadn't come up with anything that I felt happy with. But facing these difficult situations, I thought, suddenly I had this idea that if I call my bike Bhramma Parusa, that feels like the right name for this situation. So Bhramma Parusa is Sanskrit. Parama means the supreme, and Purusha means consciousness or witnessing entity or entity, right? Or you could say the supreme being. Basically, it's a name for God. And when I gave this name to my bike, I found that when I got on it and I held the handlebars, it helped me have a feeling that like I'm holding the divine hands, the hands of Bhramma Parusa. I'm sitting in the divine lap, in the lap of Bhramma Parusa. And that made quite an impact. I immediately felt more protected, more in the divine presence. I felt calmer, so that my reactions, which when you're on, steep, winding roads with traffic coming the other way, you have to have fast, accurate, calm judgment. You can't afford to make a mistake. So I found that this feeling that the bike is Bhramma Parusa gave me some of that confidence and calmness that helped me ride, not only feel happier and better, but also helped me ride better. And I began to really enjoy the name, and even to start having a dialogue with the bike as the most immediate form of Bhramma Parusa for me. It gave me this direct sense of contact and communication. So I found myself, especially when I was in dangerous situations, sort of talking with the bike as if I am talking to Bhramma Parusa. And then gradually I noticed that the experience expanded, so that I would feel, for example, when I'm in a tunnel, I would feel that the tunnel itself is Bhramma Parusa, and this general sense of being within this benevolent, loving, caring divinity really expanded the sense of both spiritual pleasure, spiritual bliss, and also a sense of security and comfort and enjoyment. And I found that in the mornings when I would come and get on the bike for the first time, it was kind of like connecting, reconnecting, and I was looking forward to it. It gave a sense of anticipation, a kind of friendliness, like being with a friend. So for me, that was I'd never had that kind of profound sense of how this spiritual sense of something being Bhramma Parusa could really have such an impact on fear. And I was reminded of a discourse that our master Sri Sri Anandamurti gave, where he said that Bhramma Parusa is the fear of fears. So fear runs away when the feeling of Bhramma Parusa is present, and I actually experienced that. Since coming back and not being on the bike, we still have to face fearful situations, and life itself can be kind of scary. So I've been wondering, I can't say I have a definite answer for it yet, but I'm wondering how can I apply what I learned on my motorcycle to normal life. And I think the first thing is that this would not have happened to me if I hadn't been in such situations. So I think taking risks, not in the sense of foolishness, but, not hiding away from risky things. So doing something challenging or risky or a little bit scary in life, if I hadn't done that, this would not have happened to me. And so in that sense, I think exposing oneself to risks, taking risks which force you to trust in the higher power of Bhramma Parusa is something that can be very important for our spiritual development, and something that we should not avoid, even though it's scary. Secondly, finding some kind of something in oneself or surroundings or that is to do with the situation. Maybe if it is public speaking that is frightening, then let the microphone be Bhramma Parusa, or if it is being on camera, let the camera be Bhramma Parusa, or if you're in a situation of physical danger with conflict with people or something, let your fists, I'm guessing here, but it just have that sense of using something to be your representative of Bhramma Parusa. So those are my reflections based on this experience that I had. And so as far as that's something useful for those of you out there who are listening, think about not hiding back from risky situations, taking on a danger or risk for a good reason, and not in any kind of foolish way. And try to think of some way that you can really have this intense feeling of presence of Bhramma Parusa, because if you can get that through whatever means you can, that intense feeling of the presence of Bhramma Parusa really has a bigger impact than anything else I've experienced in reducing fear. All right. Thank you for listening. Namaskar.